Okay, I just pulled the engine, checked everything out. The rectifiers were at 60 degrees, the brushes were at 64, the armature was at 61, and the magnets were at 45. Those are all C, so you can do the math on what that is. This was over an hour, had to be an hour and 10 minutes. It was at 16 volts, between 3 and 4 amps, bouncing around. 10 cars, 6 heavyweight, and 4 baggage cars. And on the visual inspection, 0 defamation, no swelling, no shrinkage, no change of any surface. And the main thing was all the clearances for the armature were maintained. So you can look into that armature and see there's no mark, no scratch, no rubbing, nothing here either, and nothing here either. Those are all the same marks of the process of making this thing. When I installed this, see if I can do this. See if I can do this. I don't know if I can or not. Maybe not. Just sit there for a second. I'll be right back. I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to put the screws in and this in and try to show this to you. It's a little hard because it's not really assembled, okay? But let's see what I can do. Okay. What I'm trying to show you is, and I can't because it's jumpy, is the clearances. There's massive clearances on the bottom and the top, and that's because the magnet is pulling the armature to the upside. If this was in the center, about like that, you'll see we have a huge gap at the bottom and a huge gap at the top. So there is plenty of clearance, no rubbing, no friction in the assembly. When I pulled it off and brought it here, I could move the armature. The wheels move smoothly. I had tuned these guys up so they were a little easier. You can see there, they roll pretty nice now. See that? Okay, so that's rolling nice and level, flat. Anyway, the fields worked. Okay, this PLA plastic, PLA plus, given the 75% density and the clearance settings that I put in here, is going to be fine. I'm convinced. We went over an hour with 10 cars at 16 volts. 20 cars, I'm not sure it will pull it. We can try it, but my limitation is going to be the transformer at 4 amps. It will shut down. And we know there's other track here. My track is not clean. I've got all the tracks wired to the one transformer, so when I fire it up, all the tracks getting energy. So Lord knows what it's pulling truly from the engine. I mean, it fires up at 2.2 and it's running at 3, so is that 1.8 or what the hell, I don't know. But I'm pretty confident this is going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to print a couple of more of these, and I'll send 1 or 2 to Dan and 1 or 2 to Don, and they are invited to test these as well. I will continue to test this, and I may, out of insurance for myself, go ahead and print some out of carbon fiber PETG, which will give us even more strength and more heat resistant. So it would be the same material here for these two. It is expensive, but it's not a big deal. It's like what, instead of a quarter, it's like 60 cents or something like that added to the cost. So yeah, okay. But the satisfaction and the, what do you call it, the mind security, whatever, peace of mind, right? We've got it the best we can possibly make it. This I feel outrageously good at. It was well over 120 at the stem, and the housing was solid as a rock. I couldn't poke it. I use my screwdriver and I poke it, like you do. Sometimes the body shop will do that to see if the paint's soft or whatnot. You poke it for rust holes, all that. I'm poking this thing and would not go in. It is solid, very solid. So I'm confident this thing is way to go. I'm going to go ahead and print those up. I'm going to probably switch all the housings to this material, especially now that Andy has helped me get the Clippers firmware and the Simplicity 3D slicer. In combination, the printer is working better than it ever has ever, and I've owned it 5 years. Amazing. I'm just in love. Now can you imagine 40 millimeters tall? What could we print? Okay, it's a quarter after, and guess what? We're gonna have, I'll tell you in a minute. It's in there. We're gonna have buffalo chicken pizza. Yes, Margaret buys the pizza semi-made. It has chicken on it and buffalo sauce, but she puts more cheese and more sauce and more meat. Oh God, I don't know. She can't leave anything alone. God bless her. She knows how to make a pizza, I'll tell you that. So I am thrilled to no end. I think today's the day. We solved it. It was clearances and tolerances and mountings and thicknesses of material and density of the part itself solved this one. This one was a little of that, but mostly it was get me a better filament that can withhold the heat. I'm printing this stuff at 240 C, so it's curing from 240. So if it's seeing 120, that's about half the curing temperature. It's almost annealing as it's being made, you know what I'm saying? So I think that's the answer. That's the answer for the hot stuff. I'm gonna do it on all of them. Don't care, it's fine. We'll just print them all out of carbon fiber. If we have any left, we'll use them for the standard ones, but we're not gonna do any of these. I'm gonna print 3 more. Can't do it today, it's a quarter after, but first thing in the morning, I'm gonna start printing 2 more of these and put them in the pieces and set them on the track, or move them around the layout and let you see them in action. See what the smoke is, how's it coming out, what do you think? But I'm pretty convinced we're going to do it. And we're going to do it with the 2 buckboards and a rectifier just like that. And it's the simplest, easiest way I can get them done, and Dan can make them and send them out to you guys if you want one. All right, so I'll post this with the other back to back. I've yet to figure out how to put 2 videos together, but eventually maybe. All right, later.